Yo, what's going on, guys? It's SamSam, and I know I might look a little tired. It might be a little late, but I told myself I was going to get this video recorded and edited and uploaded on Saturday, like I do every single Saturday when we upload a new video. And today's video is going to be on how to make a champion pool, the reasons you should make a champion pool, for new players, for veteran players, for anyone that wants to get better at League and wants to lower the amount of champions they play in order to get better at the game quicker, faster, and more efficiently. So without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you like the video, if you don't like the video. Any feedback you have is valuable to me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get to it.
Fucking clip it. Oh, let's go.
Alright, guys, I got a short slideshow for you. Hopefully it won't take me that long to get through, but we're gonna go over first, why is a champ pool even important? Why do you care that you should have a champ pool? Okay, so the reason it's important, and I'm going to use some examples here of other players that have small champion pools across various different regions. Z99, General Sniper, TF Blade, and Apocalypse. These are all well-known people in the League realm. Z99 being one of the most prominent Z1 tricks in all of Korea. General Sniper, the youngest player, at least that I know of, to ever hit Challenger. TF Blade, a well-known streamer, and Jax and Irelia Savant, and then Apocalypse, who is a former L9er who is now Janet One Trick on the US server. These guys have mastered, whether it be Z99 and Apocalypse, just one specific champ, or someone like General Sniper and TF Blade, who have a few champions in their pool that they are really proficient at. It is because of their understanding of their strengths and their weaknesses, and why they have their set champion pool that allows them to consistently be at the top of the ladder. You really have to understand what you want to do, why you want to make your champion pool smaller. And for someone like Z99, who strictly only plays Zed, he has never played another ranked game with a different champion on that account, on that Z99 account. You can go check it for yourself. He only plays Zed. For someone like General Sniper, who has a little bit wider of a pool, mainly plays Riven, Irelia, Renekton. It's champions of similar styles, AD, Bruiser, Dueler type champs. It's just about finding your style, finding your theme for what kind of champion pool you want to have. But it matters because it makes climbing and getting better at League so much easier. So this is going to be my champ pool guide for low elo. And yes, when I say low elo, I'm referring to gold, specifically like lower gold and below. So like gold 4 to iron 4, pretty much. I know it's not specifically low elo. People would say that 50% or higher would be high elo, but once you get to the League community considers high elo, D1, Master, Grandmaster, Challenger, even up there the game is much different. A D1 Master game is not the same as a Challenger game, in the same way that high diamond games not the same as a low diamond game not the same as a mid plat game. There's levels to the types of League games you experience. So when I'm referring to low elo, I mean gold 4 and lower, but it's not meant to be disrespectful. And the reason we want to lower our champion pool is simple. Smaller champion pool means you can get better at League quicker, which leads to climbing. It could not be more simpler than that. Okay, the smaller champion pool you have, the less variables are going to be in your games, the more you can just focus on learning your champion, learning their matchups. And then once you have that understood, you can branch out and start understanding different aspects of the game, but it allows you to lower the variables early on when you're trying to get better at League. Champion mastery is going to be our #1 priority, right? Learning our champion, mastering our champion, and making sure that we try to pick a champ that is easier to play, specifically for lower elos. Playing Yasuo is fun, playing Zed is fun, playing Lee Sin's fun, Thresh is fun, but these champions are like low elo noob traps, man. People get sucked in by the theme, the idea of playing these champs, but you will never squeeze all you can out of those champions compared to playing something like a Malphite or an Annie or like a tank jungler like Rammus. You know, I have it listed right here, right? A 50 game Malphite player to me in gold would be worth more than a 200 game Yasuo player. And I truly mean that. Someone that has put that much time into Yasuo in gold but is still a gold player, they are not worth as much as someone who's a Malphite player or a tank player top, who's got 50 Malphite games and is going to be playing Malphite in my solo queue games. So let's talk about the different types of champ pools and let's break down some of their pros and cons. So we got one trick ponies versus a two trick versus someone that has like a small champion pool. So we're going to go over some of their pros and cons and we'll go just straight in order, right? So for one trick pony, it's going to be your ultimate champion mastery, right? That's focusing on one champ, learning the ins and outs of that one champ. You can hone in on everything that champion has to offer and just learn everything about them, right? The less you have to learn, meaning the less champions you have to learn, it means that you will improve much quicker at the game. You can understand just that one champion and then start to understand the broader concepts of League, you know, without having to put in as much time. The cons are going to be pretty obvious, right? It means you're going to be vulnerable to really hard matchups and counter picks, especially if you have a champion that has a lot of those. Someone like Jace, right, who might be a strong laner, but he does have, you know, a lot of hard counter picks, specifically a lot of tanks, a lot of champions that can outduel him in the mid game once they get to one item. The bigger, another big thing, right, is that it's going to limit the roles you can fill for your team, and it can force your team into trying to fill that role that you can't in other aspects, whether it be the support, mid, whatever role, right? If you only play Jace top, and your jungler is, you know, an AD jungle player, and your mid plays AD mids, it might force your AD to have to pick something AP bot, but if he doesn't play APs and you're just going to be forced to play an AD bot, like, it might be forcing your team into a pretty bad spot. For two tricks, this allows more flexibility and it allows you to alternate between champions, make the game feel fresh constantly. And this is where we can start opting into how we want our champ pool to look. Do we want champions that we play to have similar styles, or do we want to have altering styles to fit more roles? The example I use is like if you play Shen and Malphite, right? That's two tanks, but two tanks that have a different style, right? Shen is much more defensive, much more protective, whereas Malphite is based on either engaging or counter engaging. Our cons are going to be, you know, somewhat similar. You're still going to have tough matchups, especially if you opt for having champions of similar styles. You might not have enough depth in your pool to fill all the roles, right? So here we're still falling into that trap where we might have one tank and one bruiser, but we might not have a dueler if our team lacks damage. And then in the simplest form, learning two champs is harder than one, right? Like if we're trying to pick up two champions of different styles, it's going to be harder than just learning one champ and learning everything about them. And then here, this is probably where I'd limit it at a small pool. Anything more than this, you don't have a champion pool. You're getting too close to having a champion lake or river. We definitely are not going to have any champion oceans in gold, I promise you. Anybody that has a champion ocean in gold, they don't have a champion anything. They have not mastered anything, I promise you. But a small pool is going to be 3 to 4 champs that you routinely play. And this will allow you to either, you know, lock into that style you want to play, or to broaden your options for your team and have a champion from each different type of style. And that's what I mentioned here, right? You can have a tank, a mage, a dueler, or a bruiser. I'm specifically talking about top lane here, but this could be mid lane, jungle, whatever. And the good thing here is that you'll have an answer for most matchups that you see if you see the enemy pick their top laner, but you can also opt in to have a good blind pick that you can pick no matter what team comp you have, no matter what team comp the enemy has, and that is really helpful when your champion pool is just a little bit bigger but not too big. A con here is going to be more of an ego thing, right? At this point, the cons don't really have to do with our champ pool, but have to do more with what the champ pool means. You're going to start thinking maybe that you're better at more champs than you actually are, and that maybe you should add more champs to this pool. You should expand it, make it bigger. Definitely a no-go. You know, and hard to learn multiple champs at once. It's really hard to learn, you know, 2 champs compared to 1. Even harder to learn 4 champs compared to 2, especially if they're going to have differing styles, right? So here we're getting a little bit more complicated in the amount of champs we want to learn. But it could be more beneficial if what you're looking for is to have more options available. It just might take a little bit longer to learn all the different styles that you might want to pick up. Now we're going to go over two players that have both reached extremely high elo on the EUS server, and they both have completely different playstyles. So the first person we're going to talk about is Dazukil. I'm assuming that's how you say his name. I'm not 100% sure. And the other person we'll talk about is Zwairu. I'm not going to go too in depth about this. I just want to compare their playstyles, right? So Dazukil is a Yon and Yasuo top main. Those are strictly the only two champions that he plays top. He throws in a bit of Camille, I guess, if those champions are banned. And then we have Zwairu on the other side, who is a professional player. So he has to have a deep champion pool. And as you can see, that man can play nearly any champion mid and hold a good KDA and do pretty well with them. LeBlanc, Akali, Syndra, Sylas, Sandra, Victor. These are champions that are assassins. They're control mages. They're wave cleared. You know, they're battle mages. They're whatever he needs his team. You know, his team needs him to fill, right? Both these champions, or both these people, you look rank 1 and rank 8, like they both have climbed extremely high and are both extremely talented and well respected on the server. And it just came down to them figuring out what they want to do, how they want to structure their champ pool, right? Dazukil loves Yon and Yasuo. He loves their play style. He just loves the way the champions play in the game. He's fine with dealing with whatever matchups he has to deal with top. Whereas Zwairu more prefers, right, to be that, you know, fill whatever role my team needs. Do you need me to play assassin because we like burst damage? Do you need me to play wave clear mage because we need to be able to scale in this comp, right? But figuring out how you want to structure your champ pool and what benefits you and what you think will most fit your playstyle is the biggest thing you can do when building your champ pool. Alright, now I know I just used a Yon Yasuo 2 trick as an example, but what I want you guys to take away from this is to stay away from cool champs and flavor of the month champs. And this is strictly talking about low elo, right? Because we want to build a good foundation for our champ pool. So when I'm talking about cool champs, you know, I'm clearly referring to the Yasuos, the Lee Sins, the Vaynes, the playmaking champs of the world, right? And the reason is because these champions don't have a good ROI. That's what I will use to explain it. Right, easy champions, when people call these champions like Annie and Malphite, they are your best friend when you are lower rank because they have the highest ROI. As I mentioned earlier, a 50 game gold Malphite way more valuable than a 200 game gold Yasuo. Like, it is absolutely insane how much more valuable playing an easier champ for a shorter amount of time can be, as opposed to playing a more complicated champion that's harder to get everything out of for a longer period of time. So if I had to give my recommendations here, are going to be my top 3 easy champs for each role in the game. For top, I'm going to go Malphite, Darius, Dr. Mundo. Jungle, I'm going to go Amumu, Warwick, Vi. Mid, I'm going to say Annie, Malzahar, Malphite. That is probably not going to change for a hot minute. Some of these might be, you know, subject to change depending on patches and metas, but that mid set of 3 champions would probably be a staple for a while because it already has been. AD, MF, Sivir, Ashe, again, these are pretty solid champions. They don't require a lot of kiting. They're more ability based, which is very helpful for learning AD and learning how to position better. And then for support, Blitzcrank, Brand Morgana. I mean, that's tank, that's, you know, burst mage, and then, you know, like supportive caster mage. All these champions and all these roles, I think, added to someone's pool and strictly focused on may not be the best. Like one tricking Malphite might be kind of hard, but adding these to a champion pool I think would be absolutely beneficial to anyone that is in a lower rank. Alright guys, so yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I mean, you know, having a small champion pool is something that I myself struggled with because I like so many different champions. I love the lore of League and I love delving into all these different storylines and backgrounds of champions. But when it came to grinding, when it came to trying to get better and actually trying to hit Grandmaster, I mean, I buckled down to 5 champs. I played pretty much Gangplank, Set, Riven, Wukong, Jace. I didn't really deviate much from that. You know, I had some bad games, some tilt games where maybe I picked a bad champ and had just played bad on a champ that I like a lot, so then I picked a bad matchup. But you know, when I stuck to my champion pool, I had positive win rates on all those champions, and I was able to climb extremely efficiently. You know, lowering your champ pool, making sure that you stick to it, you stick the games out, you stick the tough games out, making sure that you don't deviate from it. That is the best thing you can do for yourself. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to take away from this video, and I want you to go slam some Malphite and Annie in any lane you want. Okay, maybe not any lane, maybe not AD, but Annie you could definitely play, or support or mid. Malphite, that's top mid or support. Even jungle and the lower elos, real low elos, you could play them. You know, don't be afraid to pick some of these easier champions out of feeling embarrassed or like you're not as skillful. Trust me, especially if you're lower rank, if you're starting out in League 2, having these these easier champions in your back pocket that you know how to play really well down the line, that'll matter just as much as getting to know how to play them now. And that, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. Like I said at the beginning, make sure to leave a comment. Let me know if you liked it. If you didn't like it, let me know what you guys want to see next. What you think I could improve on in the video production. But on that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever time it happens to be before you. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Yeah.